In and David's with us. David's good to see you.
Good to see you.
You were the quarterback this year, right?
Yes, sir.
How did that go for you?
Well, if we're basing off of last season, we turned it around pretty well. We didn't throw as much as last year because we moved to a different type of offense, but we were really successful this year.
And you got injured one time during the year too, right?
Yes, sir. I suffered with a few injuries throughout the year, like nothing that put me out of a whole game. I got a knee injury on our homecoming game, but luckily we had a bye week the next week, and I was able to heal up and cover for the next game.
Were you pleased with your success this year as a team, or disappointed? How would you kind of categorize how it went this year for you?
Regular season-wise, I mean, I feel like we could have gone undefeated. We played bad against Metrolina, and then we had a disappointing playoff game, but I think we had a really good year.
What do you think was your toughest game of the year?
Probably Metrolina. We couldn't seem to keep them from scoring, and we didn't have a good night with the refs either. So that was probably our toughest game.
What do you think was, for your own personal standpoint, most satisfying, most successful game you had this year?
I would probably say Cannon. I didn't really have a standout game. They're all about the same, but I'd probably say Cannon.
How have you gotten better this year as opposed to last year, and how did you get that improvement going your way?
I think over the off season, I was in the gym a lot. I was able to withstand myself in the pocket more. I was able to run for more yards up the middle. I think I was able to read the field better. I think that's about it.
Who would you say is maybe the toughest player on your team if you had to go up against this guy, maybe a tough day every day in practice?
One person that I think has the kind of mindset that he's going to go hard every play, and he's got nothing to lose, would be Aaron Gibson.
Aaron Gibson, okay.
Yeah, I'd say.
What year is he? Senior or junior?
Yeah, he's a senior.
So what position does he play?
Well, he played offensive line on offense every year up until this year, and we moved him to a fullback. And he was really successful at fullback, and he's been a linebacker every year too.
So he's a tough man to go against.
Sure.
How about on the opposing teams? We talked about tough games. Any opponents, any certain players from any certain teams you remember about this guy just bearing down on me? I can't get this guy out of my sight. This guy's trying to kill me.
Yes, sir. I would say probably number 35, I don't know what his name is, for Wade Christian, was a good opponent, and someone who tore us up on defense would be the quarterback from Metrolina. He seemed to be having a really good game against us too.
What position do you play on defense? Well, you got to play some defense too.
Yeah, I played linebacker.
So you doing the quarterback-linebacker combo?
Yes, sir.
That's almost endangering your life. When you switch over to defense, you may get hurt before you get back to the quarterback spot again.
Yes, sir. I had to limit my reps. I wish I would have played more linebacker this year, but I got a few reps at linebacker this year.
Where do you think you'll be playing at next year? Will you be playing next year?
I mean, I have some interest in a few colleges, but Davidson College is probably my primary. Probably pushing most at Davidson right now.
Have you been in contact? You guys exchanged some
yes, sir.
email?
I've been in contact with Davidson for a lot this year.
How's the classroom going? It must be going pretty good. If you're talking to Davidson, your classroom work must be in order.
Yes, sir. I have a decent SAT. My GPA is around weighted. It's about a 4.78.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, so Davidson had some tough requirements in the first place just to be.
Have you been to any Davidson games yet?
I went to their first two games, College of Faith and Catawba.
So College of Faith, they probably destroyed them, didn't they?
Yep.
I think I read about that story. What was that score again?
56-0.
Yeah, I read about College of Faith had been worn down pretty badly this year, but the Catawba game was probably a pretty tough game.
Yeah, they lost to Catawba. Catawba had they had two of the best running backs in Division II, and they could move the ball.
Tell you one thing, the coach over at High Point Andrews, if you ever met this guy or not, I think he's a former line coach. He's a Davidson grad. Have you met him?
I have not.
He was very well educated, like you would be thinking coming out of Davidson. But man, if you ever get a chance, he was also the track coach at Andrews for a while too.
Sure.
I think he still teaches there. If you ever in that neighborhood, pop in, ask about Davidson. This coach can tell you much about that. What's your favorite college football team?
I don't really have a favorite college football team, but I've just grown up being at Carolina. Carolina football fan, so probably Carolina.
What about favorite pro team? Got a favorite pro team?
Pro team, I would probably go with the Carolina Panthers.
You like the Panthers, enjoy watching Cam Newton and all those guys.
Yes, sir.
Do you enjoy watching Luke Kuechly, because he is a premier linebacker?
Yes, sir. I think he's leading the league in tackles right now. He's.
I just hope they don't use him up. You know, I mean, you think about a guy young in his career doing so much. I hope he doesn't get burned out. You know, I don't think he'd get burned out. He'd love to play the game, but I hope he doesn't get overused where he's not still as effective as he would be later in his career, because that guy's just done so much the first few years in the league.
Yes, sir.
What about, we talked about the highlight of the season for you. Why you play football? What's that question? What do you play football? What is it about the football game you enjoy so much?
I grew up playing football since 3rd grade. My dad was a really good football player over at East Davidson.
Wow.
He was a linebacker. He had multiple looks. I've always just loved the game of football. It's been my favorite.
Did you grow up playing a lot of those kids at High Point Andrews, High Point Central, some of the kids around that area too?
I didn't play. I played over at Pilot, so I played like North Davidson. I played schools like Midway and.
Did you ever enter the tunnel, big tunnel? Did you ever see him?
Yes, sir. I can't remember.
Back in the day, if you ever saw him, I'm sure you did not miss it. I think he's like about 330 pounds, committed to Tennessee. What do you think, Coach? Tell us what you think Coach Bell's meant to this team.
I think Coach Bell, what he brought to the team was he had a real connection with his seniors. He coached us back in 9th grade. We had a really successful 9-1 JV season, and I think he just completely switched our mindset over from last year. We kind of had a tough year, and I just thought that he brought. You kind of
love playing for a coach who you've already had some success with. Like I say, 9-1 is a JV. You almost say, I can't wait to get the guys a varsity coach. If we were good before, we got to be good again.
Yes, sir.
What about you look at the team, you look at what you'll be doing tomorrow night. Season's over, Friday night now open. What do you be doing then? All that time on your hands?
Well, I'll probably be working out in the gym. During the off season, I like to get in the weight room and try to improve myself.
So you'll be working out tomorrow night?
Yes, sir.
This guy's dedicated, but he'll be working out. Don't think you'll be going to a football game tomorrow night anywhere? Maybe not? No?
I might try to swing by a football
But you may hit that gym then?
Yes, sir.
How much do you weigh?
At the beginning of the football season, I was around 215, but I'm about 205 right now.
Solid weight for how tall?
6'3".
Man, I don't know if you did. You might be able to take tomorrow night off. 6'3", weighing what you do. That's not bad at all for a quarterback.
Yes, sir.
You don't play any basketball then?
I don't.
No basketball. Interesting. Well, we have to keep working with Mr. Norris. He's definitely got the size we're looking for. Favorite late night restaurant?
I would have to say probably. Chick-fil-A, something like that.
Drop in one of the Chick-fil-A's maybe late at night. How about if you lost your cell phone, no more TV, no more computers, none of that stuff? What are you going to be doing all that time?
Well, like I said earlier, either working out or hanging out with some of my friends.
You're pretty good about good time management, right?
Yes, sir.
If you go to Davidson, you got to have that, and he's got it already.
Yes,
who do you think the top athlete to ever come out of High Point Christian Academy might be?
Well, we've had a lot of successful basketball players come out, but
I've got one in mind. Let's see if you can guess it. Any basketball players you thought?
Maybe Chuck.
Yeah, Big Chuck. Yep, I remember Chuck Abagro. Yes, but
Chuck, Mike Kubani,
right,
and Obacha. Both went to App State.
Exactly, but you hadn't named the guy I was thinking of yet. This guy's a good one. Tall guard.
Oh,
about 6'7" at guard. This guy's amazing.
6'7"?
Yeah, about 6'6", 6'7". Can play the guard like a wing.
You're talking about Jackson?
There you go. You got it. This guy's got the brain thought. Yes, sir. Good job.
Sir.
I'm thinking of Jackson. He's got to be in that list. Deontay Baldwin, not a bad one too. I think he's at UNCG now. Yeah. David Norris with us, quarterback of the High Point Christian Academy Cougars. Do you think the Dudley Panthers, should have been allowed to stay in the playoffs? They've been taken out. Their season's over. Done right, done wrong. What do you think? You've been seeing it on the news, I'm sure, this week.
I thought they were done wrong just because of all the seniors have gone through, and I think that one mistake with I think that they had a player played too many.
Played on the same Thursday and Friday night.
Yeah, I think the penalty was a little too much. They definitely could have probably, if not won the state championship, going far.
What about the fact we get our group together? You're a quarterback. You got Justin Timmons, probably a receiver. I know Malik's got to be a slot man. You got Zach at fullback. Don's playing on the line tomorrow night. He may be slimming down maybe to a slot man himself in a couple weeks. Dennis is going to be there probably in a receiver, tight end, maybe a tight end spot. Get this whole group. We go play Dudley tomorrow night. How about an exhibition game against the Panthers tomorrow night? You guys are coming off a tough playoff loss last Friday. You guys still want to play? How about we go play Dudley tomorrow night? Are you up for it?
Yes, I'm always up for a good challenge, but it'd be tough.
And I do know a good insurance agent, so we'll get that line up for you. We got a good insurance agent, so we'll cover that. David Norris is with us, about to wind it up. Shane's Ribshack for a Thursday. Of our local teams, who do you think's got the best chance in the playoffs? Maybe Northern Guilford, Southern Guilford, Central, Andrews. Who's got the best chance to win a state championship?
Well, I actually went to a game last year, and I saw Dudley and North Davidson play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think North Davidson played really well in the first half.
And they're still in it too, yeah.
Yeah, I think North Davidson has a really good shot. Then I think Central and Northern are also going to get a good push.
What about Southern Guilford, 11-0? Do you think they go the distance or get knocked off somewhere along the way?
I don't know much about Southern Guilford, but from what I've heard, I think they could go far too.
Got to give those guys some props. Again, here's the big question for you. I even asked your coach this question. He made him think, what is your purpose in life, you think? We're all called according to the purpose. What is the purpose?
Yes, sir. I think it'd just be to honor God in whatever I do, whether it be football or academically or whatever I'm called to do.
How about next year? Where do we see you?
Next year, hopefully playing college football, but it just depends how
If not, you'll be doing some studying probably in that classroom.
Yes, sir.
What about 10 years down the road?
Hopefully started a family, have a successful job, around those lines.
What type of work do you think you might do? Have you thought about that yet? What you might want to go into?
I'm actually thinking of either somewhere in the business field or maybe even something engineering-wise.
Gotcha. So there's no thoughts about going to Clemson or NC State for their engineering programs there, either one?
I was saying I'm applying to NC State, so I might go there for engineering.